Good morning and a very warm welcome. You're watching Janata Television and this is the English Bulletin with me, Sushant Dhakal. The top stories first. Nepalese celebrating Vijaya Dasami across the country today. People seek blessings from elderly on this day. People return home from the capital to celebrate Dasai. Streets of Kathmandu wear a deserted look. Prices of fruits skyrocket during Dasai. Consumers accuse government of negligence in the market monitoring. Deadly shooting rocks Beirut. Tensions erupt over blast probe. And around 100 female Afghan footballers evacuated to Doha. FIFA trying to rescue evacuation of more footballers. And now the news in detail. Today is the 10th day of Dasai, the biggest festival of the Hindus residing in Nepal. On this day, people of all caste and creed seek blessings from the elderly. To celebrate this festival, which spans over 15 days on the bright half of the lunar calendar in the month of Ashwin, people from far and near return home. On this day, devotees worship goddess Bhavani Siddhi Datri, who is considered the embodiment of victory. This day is celebrated as the day of victory of good over the evil. Holy texts mention that Lord Shiva, the destroyer of the world, invoked goddess Siddhi Datri on this day and acquired the form of the all-powerful Ardha Nareshwar, which means half male and half female. It is also said that Lord Vishnu, during his incarnation of Lord Ram, worshipped various forms of goddess Bhavani during the 9 nights of Dasai to obtain blessing to defeat the demon Ravan. The goddesses which are invoked during the first 9 days of the festival are bade farewell on the 10th day. With the end of worshipping begins merrymaking. People celebrate the festival for the next 5 days until the full moon. They visit their near and dear ones to pay respect. Elderly people give blessing of longevity to the younger members of the family. The auspicious time for receiving blessings and tika during this Dasai has been fixed at 10 o'clock and 2 minutes, according to Nepal Calendar Determination Committee. The streets of Kathmandu have become deserted as people have returned to their respective hometowns and villages to celebrate the Dasai festival. Most of the people have already returned home to celebrate the festival of Dasai and Tihar. Meanwhile, the local residents of Kathmandu are also busy preparing for the festival. This has resulted in the streets becoming empty during Dasai. The streets of Kathmandu, which used to be congested during normal days, have now turned silent. Only a handful of people are seen on the streets, while most of the shops have also closed by now. Shops in the downtown areas of Kathmandu, such as New Road and its surrounding areas, are closed during the festival. Traffic police have set up checkposts in different areas of the capital to avert possible accident during the festive season. The Kaligandaki River has been losing its pristine feature for some years, all because of human activities. The expansion of Beni Jomsom Korola roadway is largely causing landslips and floods, thereby ruining the natural environment. A report.
Landslides have frequently occurred at several places along the 76-kilometer-long Beni Jomsom highway, which leads to Mustang, the district beyond mountains. It resulted in obstruction to the flow of Kaligandaki River. The locals of Annapurna Rural Municipality 5 say that the water cycle there had changed due to big landslides that occurred at Chahara, Kavrevir and Bhandarijong Phir along the roadway. Even the general rainfall causes landslides, they say. Similarly, the Kaligandaki River, having narrow gorges, is now getting silted up with stones. Random use of dozer and excavator to extract sand and stone is badly affecting the river ecology. The locals here are worried over the diminishing presence of aquatic animals. Although the Supreme Court had issued an interim order last July to not excavate from the river bank and dump waste, the extraction did not stop. Recently, in view of the growing preventing encroachment upon the holy Kaligandak river, youth campaigners have launched a campaign named River Week to preserve the river. The youth campaigners are distributing posters and conducting poetry recitation emphasizing on environment and river conservation. After the river began changing its course and subsequent landslides occurred, the settlements on the bank have been facing increasing risk. The residents of Dana said the river was getting narrower in the area.
This is Janata Bulletin. We'll be right back after a short break. Welcome back after the break. We continue with other national news. The government yesterday confirmed 398 new cases of coronavirus across the country. Following the latest round of tests, the total cases of coronavirus in the country have climbed to 804,276, while the number of active cases has dropped to 13,853 from the overnight tally of 14,267. According to the Ministry of Health and Population, altogether 779,154 infected persons have recovered from the disease in the country so far, following the recovery of 804 patients yesterday. The death toll from coronavirus has climbed to 11,269 after 8 fatalities were reported yesterday. Nepal is currently among the top 44 countries that have been most affected by the pandemic. The USA tops the list with over 45.63 million confirmed cases, followed by India with over 34.03 million cases. Coronavirus has infected more than 240 million people across the world and claimed over 4.89 million lives. And now the news from the economic front. The prices of fruits have skyrocketed with the start of the Dasai festival. Consumers complain that the price gets hiked especially during this time. However, businessmen claim that price hike is a result of fruits not arriving from China this year. Consumers who had visited various fruit shops on the 9th day of Dasai yesterday complained that the price had increased excessively. They said fruits serve as perfect parting gifts during the Dasai festival, but they were worried about the exorbitant prices. They said that there wasn't any uniformity in the prices of fruits and accused the government of negligence in market monitoring. One of the consumers complained that the price of apples has increased to Rs 250 from 200 within a span of 1 week. They complained that the businessmen were fixing prices haphazardly due to poor market monitoring of the government.
अहिले अब तपाईको दुईटा यस्ता खालका दुईटा तपाईको साइकलमा जानुस् हैन दुई थरी तीन थरी भाउ छ जसले जति लिए पनि कसैले केही भन्नेवाला छैन मैले अब सक्छु बार्गेनिङ गर्न घटाउने भने घट्छ पनि कोही स्वाट तिरेर सोध्ने जति भने त्यति दिन्ने कस्टमर त ठुलो मर्कामा छ.
On the other hand, fruit dealers and importers claimed that the price hike was caused due to the non-arrival of fruits from China this season. They also said that a differing rate of fruits at Kuleshwar market has also caused problems this time.
फलफुल अब यस्तो पोहोर साल त हामीले अब यो सबै सामान दसैँ अलिकति पछाडी पनि परेको थियो हैन चाइनाबाट डाइरेक्ट सेउको गाडीहरु पनि आथे यसपालि अलि अब स्टोरको मालहरु पनि आछ हैन प्राय जोस राम्रो पनि छैन हाम्रो जोस हामीले फसेकै छौं यसमा हैन महँगो पनि छ अब ग्राहकले अब अस्ति भर्खरसम्म एक हप्ता अगाडिसम्म 200 मा किनेको स्यौ 200 मा फुजी स्यौ हामीले यो भ्याउँथ्यो अहिले हाम्रो यही 300 रुपैयाँ आफ्नै पर्न आउँछ 350 ले बेच्नु पर्छ मान्छे लादैन.
The businessmen said that the fruits produced in Nepal would not suffice even for 2 months, while a lack of transportation has caused a shortage of fruits in the market. Time for a short break here at Janata Bulletin. Stay tuned for international news. Welcome back, and now the international news. Tensions over a probe into last year's massive blast in Beirut burst into the worst street violence in more than a decade on Thursday. The protest left 6 people dead. Gun battles revived the memories of the country's civil war that ended more than 30 years ago. According to Reuters, bullets bounced off buildings and people ran for cover during bursts of gunfire which lasted several hours. At one school, teachers instructed infant children to lie face down on the ground with their hands on their heads, the news agency said, citing a witness. The Iran-backed Hezbollah and its ally accused the Lebanese forces, a Christian party that has close ties to Saudi Arabia, of attacking its supporters who were gathering to demand the removal of the judge investigating last year's port blast. Interior Minister Bassam Maulawi said snipers had opened fire and aimed at people's heads. The Lebanese forces denied any involvement and condemned the violence. It blamed the violence on incitement against Judge Tarek Bitar, the lead investigator into the port blast which killed 200 people. The army initially said gunfire had targeted protesters as they passed through the traffic circle dividing Christian and Shiite Muslim neighborhoods. It later said there had been an altercation and exchange of fire as protesters were on their way to the demonstration. You are watching Janata Bulletin, and now the latest from the world of sports. Around 100 female footballers were evacuated from Afghanistan to Doha on Thursday. Qatar's government worked with FIFA, football's world governing body, to coordinate the rescue effort, BBC reported, citing a source close to the operation. It is believed that the group includes 20 national players. FIFA is trying to secure the evacuation of more footballers and their families from the country, which fell under Taliban rule in August. After the fall of Kabul, players were warned by the national team's former captain, Khalida Popal, to delete pictures of themselves playing on social media and to burn their kits to protect themselves from potential reprisals from the new regime. Many of the country's female footballers have gone into hiding since the Taliban's takeover. FIFA and Players Union FIFA Pro wrote to a number of governments to request help. Last month, female players from Afghanistan's junior national team crossed the border into Pakistan. The girls had spent weeks in hiding amid fears of a crackdown on women's rights by the Taliban. Women were barred from participating in sports during the Taliban's last spell in power from 1996 to 2001. We are at the end of Janata Bulletin, and the headlines once again. Nepalese celebrating Vijaya Dasami across the country today. People seek blessings from elderly on this day. People return home from the capital to celebrate Dasai. Streets of Kathmandu wear a deserted look. Prices of fruits skyrocket during Dasai. Consumers accuse government of negligence in market monitoring. Deadly shooting rocks Beirut. Tensions erupt over blast probe. And around 100 female Afghan footballers evacuated to Doha. FIFA trying to rescue evacuation of more footballers. And that's all from the English News Desk for today. You can follow Janata Television and our programs on various social media platforms, including on our website, janatasamachar.com. Keep watching Janata Television. Namaste.